Hey everyone, so I'm just kind of documenting today, which is the 25th of March. And I wanted to show you guys the opening range breakout from the previous video. This one we're kind of able to go on a higher time frame a little bit, just because it's kind of more live action, whereas we were just kind of looking at basically just back testing it on the 5-minute time frame. So we're going to look at the micro E-mini S&P 500 like we were looking at before. We have the 930 with the range that showed. This, I don't necessarily like it too much just looking at it at the moment. We did have the buy signal, but the range was pretty big for the breakout. We probably could have still hit that one target right there, target 1, and it would have been fine. But anything beyond that, though, it would have been rather questionable. And this was the previous day's low, so I would have been a little nervous about entering that position. And I would have been nervous about it as well because we have the moving average that's right here. And so there would have been some kind of reaction. It did move up there, though, as you guys can see. And that was roughly around, the price was roughly around the area for the first target. And that's kind of roughly where the previous day's low and the moving average, the 200 moving average, the red line right here. So that would not have been an interesting or fun kind of trade to enter. But if we look at the hourly on the micro E-mini S&P 500, you can tell it was trying to retest that previous day's low, which was roughly around Sunday, the 24th, right? So it was probably trying to touch this level of area, and in a higher time frame too, if you want to really look at it as this is a possible area of a key level the price would have probably gone into. So if you did wanted to scalp that very briefly, you could have. But like I said, I wouldn't have liked this. I wouldn't have not really like it too much. It was just in the smaller time frame. I don't like how it it kind of looks. Then let's look at the micro E-mini NASDAQ 100 on this one. So this was, it wasn't too promising. It's kind of the same thing with the S&P 500 as well, right? Kind of the same thing. We didn't really get the signal prior to the breakout, opening range breakout, which is like 930. So this would have been kind of questionable. I probably would have thought maybe it would have been a short position because this was the previous day's a low that's right here, and I maybe, probably would have anticipated a reversal of some sort, and just looking at it right now. But then we ended up getting a buy when the range started forming itself, and I mean it did hit like 2 targets right here, but I don't like that it's below the moving average, the 200 moving average. It's still possible to do it. It would have been a very, very quick scalp, but I just don't like how big this range is either. If we go to the hourly on this, it goes back down to this area right here, a possible key level. If we probably looked at a little bit lower, maybe like in a 30-minute time frame, we probably would have seen that level as well, to anticipate that. And remember, I don't know if you guys recall the other video that I made. Basically, this would have been this big old candlestick right here would have been price rebalancing, and that was, we formed the fractal, and then it pushed up to form the rebalance that's happening here. But, in a 5-minute time frame, I really don't like it too much. It's way too big of a move. This range is a little too big. So we're going to look at the micro E-mini Nest. Oh, is this the one that I had? Oh, I'm sorry. We're looking at the E-mini, micro E-mini Dow Jones. Now, my other video that I did, I was talking about liking the Dow Jones for this. And, you know, as you guys can kind of see, you know, we got this signal right when the opening ranges break was happening. But what I like about it is we already have the moving average going down. We notice that this is the daily, the previous day's low. So not only did we get like a signal, right? A short signal, a sell signal from the super trend. Now we are also below the moving average, and we are also progressing pretty decent below the daily previous day's low. I would have anticipated, now this is just looking at the 5-minute time frame without looking at the higher time frame. I would have anticipated this level right here to be pushed, and if it did, it would have been a good area for a possible short position, right? And and that would be another confirmation. So probably would have shorted this out right here, right around where it retests the low of the range. Or I would have also done another position as well once it starts pushing the low, this previous low that's right here. And you guys can see if I extend this line a little bit more, it did retest that area. And then it starts hitting 1, 2, and 3 levels of the target that we are looking at. So let's look at it on the hourly and see what it looks like. And so this one would have been the previous, we had marked this before, and this would have been the previous high. That's like previous low right here. We had marked it, but that previous low was also getting retested by these previous levels of highs that's right here. So that was actually, and it looks like it's trying to push down to the 200 right here on the higher time frame. But either way, this in a smaller time frame in the 5-minute that we've been looking at, it does look a lot more promising. So I'm just going to look at gold. I don't know how it, yeah, I'm not a fan of, I probably wouldn't use futures on this, on gold, I meant. And then we're going to look at Bitcoin. So I just looked at Bitcoin briefly, but, you know, this isn't something that I want to use on Bitcoin. Like I said, I have been favoring this particular opening range breakout with the Dow Jones. And I did videos before as well. One video in particular to kind of showcase this, and I think it's doing pretty decent for the most part. So this is just kind of my way of documenting the 3 different assets that I'm looking at and how this behaves. So like I said, we looked at the micro E-mini S&P 500, we looked at the micro E-mini NASDAQ 100, and then we looked at the micro E-mini Dow Jones industrial averages. These are all different features, but the Dow Jones is the one that really seems to do exceptionally well, and I'm pretty thrilled, to be honest with it. It likes to push past levels of like lows and highs and things like that. So I guess this was Friday. Ooh, wow, that looks good. So now this is another good one on Friday on Dow Jones. So we are already seeing this crossover that's happening, and we have this previous low from the previous sessions that was happening right here. Now we didn't get the signal until afterwards, but what's already promising was, all right, we already know that we're below the moving average, the 200 moving average, and we just have to wait until price pushes past this low. Right there. And as you guys can see, that's kind of roughly around the area of where the range breakout is actually happening. So you guys can see that there's the retests that's happening with these candles, the wicks of these candles. And then we just basically enter for that. And then as you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, and then some, and push lower. And that would have also been a good one to aim for this low that's right here, which is the previous day's low. But, you know, it's always safe to do the 1, 2, 3 different levels, because you really never know as far as how the market behaves. And if we look at the hourly, I think it was right around here. Let me double check. Let's see. When this happened, it was around 9, Friday, 9 noon. Okay, let's look around noon. So this is right around here. So for those low, it was really trying to get past that low, and I think that's probably why I had marked it. But anyways, yeah, that's just kind of how I use the opening range for the Dow Jones, and yeah, it looks pretty promising. Remember to aim for the 1, 2, 3 different the 1, 2, 3 levels. 1 and 2 is always going to be the ideal. Third is just going to be the best scenario.